Now you're going to add a transaction to document your initial observation. The initial observation is essentially the assessment, so I'll show you how to mark that on the PIR tab as well. So for starters, find the child, click on Mental Health and Transactions and add a transaction. Click the date of your initial observation. Transaction type is going to be 04 initial observation. And then your status is client services. Completion dates. For tracking purposes, you can actually leave this blank, and I'll show you on Status Center how leaving this blank can help you track when your next step is due. So this is one tracking mechanism that we can talk about, so let's leave this blank for now. Source is going to be the child, because you observed the child. And now, for your transaction notes, we have a template again, and it is MHINIGIAL-OBS, enter. So it just puts that there that says see the observation tab, which we'll do now. So click on the observations tab. We're going to click add observation, put the date of your observation. What did we say it was, the 21st or the 28th? Your recommendation date will be the date that you provide the strategies to the teacher. And so if it was on the same day, go ahead and put the same date on there. And if it was a later date, then we'll leave it blank for now and then come back and populate it. But we can pretend like we were able to speak with the teacher directly following the observation, in which case it would be on the same day. But just keep in mind that won't always be the case. Total minutes observed, however long you observed the child. And then your summary date, this is the date that you're actually entering your note. So if I'm entering it on the same date, then it's going to be the same date. And your source, if you are providing a recommendation to the teacher and you had a conversation with the teacher, then let's say teacher, recommendation notes. So this is basically well, we'll start with the summary note because that's what we described first in the procedure. In the summary, you're basically going to describe in BIRP format exactly what you observed. So this will be BIRP format note. And this would typically be lengthy and include some detail, so I'm not going to even try to replicate what that might look like, but this is where your observation would go. And then your recommendation for the teacher. So this is going to be kind of whatever the next steps are in the plans that were discussed with the teacher. So that will go here. Those are going to be your recommendation notes. Alright, so that is your observation, and then once you've completed both of these tabs, your transaction and your observation tab, you can come back over to the mental health information tab, scroll down, make sure you're on the current enrolled year, and what we want to do is select the one about the assessment, because our initial observation is yes, we did an assessment, because that's what our observation is. And then by the time you complete your initial referral steps, you'll want to have all of these completed as well. Okay, perhaps not all. You maybe will not have had 3 contacts with staff. You maybe will not yet had 3 or more contacts with the parent. But you will want to go ahead and say yes, because you will have consulted with the program staff at least once. And you will have consulted with the parent at least once, because you had to get the consent signed. And you have facilitated a referral for mental health services. So be sure to select that as well. And then down here, was the child referred for services outside of the program? If so, if you have provided a referral, you can say yes. And then there's a place down below where it asks if they received the service. And this would probably be ongoing. You would not be necessarily to that stage yet where you've made referrals and followed up on those just yet. But throughout the program term, you'll want to make sure that you update this as needed as well on the mental health information tab.